Hi, I'm Jeff Vogan with Premier Retirement Planning and Wealth Management here for your Tip Tuesday. The last few weeks we talked about setting goals for the new year, 2020, to get your retirement plan in better focus. I think 2020 is a great year for that. And we talked about the envision process, looking forward to seeing what your retirement plan looks like. We talked about examining your present situation and figuring out where you are and the gaps between where you are now and where you need to be. Then we talked about executing all those plans. Now, setting goals, there's an old acronym called SMART goals. SMART goals like being specific, measurable, and so forth. I went to a seminar over the weekend in Vegas, and a man named Michael Hyatt, a business consultant, came out with a new acronym called SMARTer goals. And I want to share those with you because it gives kind of a new flavor, a new angle, and a new focus on how you can set your goals to envision, to examine, and to execute your retirement plan. Let's take a look. So here's the SMARTer goals. First of all, we have specific. That's not changed really, but specific really gets into that visualization point. That's why envisioning, looking at the future, living it, putting it in your mind as reality is going to help you get more specific with the goals you set. Now, measurable, we've always had to have measurable, but here's a couple of key things. Make sure if you're talking about financial issues or if you're talking about retirement planning, include something like a percentage sign or a number sign, like how much exactly. Put a number on it. Don't just say I want to make more money or I want to increase my income. Put a percent by 20%. I want to have at least XYZ, $1 million in my 401k by X date or whatever. We need to be actionable. Actionable means a verb, right? There's a lot of verbs. Now, when you talk about actionable, don't use the form be forms of verbs like I am, I will, or I whatever. Use the verbs like earn, I will save, and then put that together with that percent or number and it'll become more relevant. Here's another one. It used to be reality or relevant or realistic used to be the R in the old SMART goals. Risky, make them risky. There's a study done I heard about that people who set risky goals, ones that ignited their imagination and seemed a little bit too far off to actually accomplish, had a 100% increase on reaching their goals or on their success, their measured success. So get a little bit risky. Don't just be complacent about your goals. Don't set those things that are easily to attain because then we won't be motivated to attain them. So be risky, go for it. Go for big goals. Time key, we always need a deadline. Do you want to save a certain amount per month? Are you going to earn X amount by the end of 2020 or by the end of 2025? Are we going to have that X number in our 401k by X date? Make sure you have a deadline that will motivate you to stay on track. Make sure also when you set deadlines, set long-term deadlines and break them down into shorter-term deadlines. And make sure you don't just say, hey, in 20 years I want to have X. Well, that doesn't help you tomorrow or this week or this year. You need those smaller time frame goals. So time key is important, but the exciting part, these are the two extra things. Make your goals exciting. They have to be motivating to you. And that's where we come into this big why. I think that's why we need to be specific in how we envision our future. We also need to know, why do I want that? Why is that important to me? Why is that going to motivate me? The big why. Why is the thing that will drive us the most. Make sure you have a big why and make sure you write it down. And then make sure that your goals are relevant. If you're still raising a family, barely making ends meet, it's probably irrelevant to say I'm going to set aside 20% of my savings in my 401k this year. That might not be the goal you start with, but it may be if you're in your highest earning years in your 50s or 60s, have no kids at home, have no extra bills. Maybe it is possible to save 50% of your annual income into savings, or maybe it is that time where you swing for the fences and you increase your goals and make better efforts to save for the future. So again, make sure that you're relevant. In other words, make sure that your goals coincide with your stage of life. That's probably the last part. It's probably the only part of this that brings us back to a sense of reality. Make sure that we're not so far out of the reality zone that we don't even try at our goals. So again, make sure your goals are set for 2020. Make sure they are smarter goals, and I'm sure you're going to find more success.